Kenobi's corner, Kenobi's corner, Kenobi's corner.
I am definitely an email hoarder.
You just keep everything.
I keep it. I mark it as unread, so like my little counter is like at 0.
Yeah.
But it's just there.
I do the same thing. Yeah. I leave everything. Like unless it's something that I don't need for sure. Like it's like an ad or something.
Oh,
I'm
for
like,
sure.
okay, like gone out of there.
Yeah. Like if I know it's absolute junk, then
Yeah.
I'm gonna delete it. But
Yeah.
other than that, it's there.
No, yeah. My
Don't
fear
tell
is
my
like
Gmail account because that has like 20,000 emails.
Oh my God.
All in my inbox.
What?
Yeah.
I try to keep my inbox clear and then filter out things that I think I'm going to need into folders. And that's my personal email.
Yeah.
But my work email, I don't delete anything. Like I'll filter some of it out, and that one has like it's got like 10,000 stuff like in the
Oh
inbox.
my God.
But but my fear is always like that came from the CEO. Like, what am I gonna do if I throw that away? What's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Like, he's gonna come look at my email. He's gonna be like, "Did you see my email?" I'm gonna be like, "I don't know where it is."
And I don't want to be in that awkward spot. Like, yes, I did, and I didn't, and I had to like pretend about how we talked about like trapping a bear.
Yeah, it's just
I don't
not
know.
there anymore.
Like,
Oh my God, that's terrible, dude.
I read that story twice last week. In fact, bear trapping CEO.
Bear trapping CEO. Did that actually happen?
No.
Okay, good.
Ugh.
It always reminds me of that. It's a bear, like or. What happened to I don't remember what the hell that video is called, where the guy freaks out about the bear jumping in the river.
Oh, look, it's a bear. No! Oh, fuck, he's okay.
The video makes me laugh every time, dude.
It's like 10 seconds of like amazingness, but it's like absolute like I don't think I've heard like terror in somebody's voice. Like,
No!
like genuine terror.
That's a good way to start.
All right. Welcome to Kenobi's Corner. I'm Eric, and this is Jonathan.
Hello.
Welcome back, friends. This week, we discuss a very few things, actually. We wanted to do a short episode. You know, we got some stuff going on that, we wanted to cover, last week's Comic Con. I watched Wonder Woman, and we're going to talk about it.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. And just like a really short, like couple stories, but really.
Yeah, just a couple things we wanted to talk about. Things we found interesting.
Yeah.
Old news, so old.
Yeah,
we found interesting.
Old news, yeah.
And then I don't know, like we've been talking about it a couple of weeks to do our X-Men Dream X-Men movie. I don't know if it's going to be Dream X-Men movie. I think we restrained ourselves a little bit too much to make it a full Dream X-Men movie. But
Well, you got to put constraints on it because if you go like whatever you want to do,
that's true.
Then you're going to end up with something crazy. Like I don't know.
We're going to end up with the Wachowskis did a movie. I think they had almost complete
with
free
Cloud
reign
Atlas.
on. Cloud Atlas.
Yep.
That's exactly the one. Thank you.
Yeah. I was like, I know exactly where you're going. That was the only movie that I bought without watching it.
Oh, that was
and
dumb.
it severely bit me in the ass because I went to Best Buy and I was like, oh shit, they got the exclusive Best Buy one here still. That never happens on a Wednesday or Thursday. I'm going to get it. And I knew why. I knew exactly why. And I was like,
Nobody
you know what?
got it.
Nope. I'm not going to. Not only am I never going to watch this again, but I'm also not going to watch Jupiter Ascending.
Yeah.
So,
oh, man. It was a twofer.
I was like, nope, not that.
And it's funny because I enjoy both movies, but, man, Cloud Atlas is hard to watch just because they're so all over the place in that one. And, I mean, I understand and I get the concept, but that would have been so much better as a TV series or something else because that's impossible to put into, like, a 2.5 hour movie.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It was ridiculous. Oh, my God. So, not to make this Wachowski cast, but,
Well, it's going that way.
It's definitely sliding back. You know what? Let's just forget about what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the Matrix reboot again. We're going to talk about,
What about, have you ever seen Super 8?
Super 8?
Yes.
Yeah. The way you said it made me doubt myself.
No, not Super 8. It's not Super 8. That's the wrong title. That's a different movie. Sense 8.
Sense 8. No.
Yes.
But, amazingly enough,
Uh-huh.
you mentioned it. Netflix just canceled it.
Seriously?
Yes.
It's probably because nobody's watched the second season yet.
That's very true, probably.
I haven't watched the second season yet.
And you were like their biggest supporter.
Dude, and I liked the show. The show was pretty good. That's why I mentioned it, because to me, it was like Cloud Atlas. Story's not the same, characters aren't the same. It doesn't touch on the exact same things, but...
Tom Hanks, Halle Berry?
No. Neither one of them.
Okay.
But it's something that has to work more in a episodic type of thing. You can't just throw everything all in one giant movie. It just wouldn't work as a 2-3 hour movie. Even if you did it as a 3 hour movie, it just wouldn't feel the same. Yeah. So it being like a series gets to tell every little part of the story and then flesh all that out. It worked. To me, it was good.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed it. But I still haven't watched the second season. I'm like, it's like killing me because I want to watch it, but I have such a huge backlog right now.
I know.
Because we tore through Clone Wars, and that's all we watched for a while.
Oh, yeah.
So now I'm behind on everything else that I want to watch.
Well, dude, you know what? Because we started watching it, and it was something that I thought, we could just watch on a Sunday afternoon, just like everything's happy outside. But we started watching first episode.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, Jonathan said this is really good. But I didn't prepare myself.
Yeah.
Because there's a 15-minute scene of just genitals slamming against each other.
Yep.
And I was like, well, that's not what I expected so quickly, And not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm just, sometimes you got to be, prepared.
Yeah.
Or not have your 1-year-old running around while you're trying to watch this, while you're trying to clean
more
house.
Like a late night movie once the kid's gone to bed. It's kind of like a little bit more on the drama side. Something that would be like late night television, not prime time.
Red Shoe Diaries type.
I don't even know what that is.
Okay, man, that would have landed so much better if you knew what Red Shoe Diaries was. So Red Shoe Diaries was a show in the 90s with David Duchovny, where he would read it was cheesy 90s style.
It sounds like you're trying to avoid saying something really...
It was super cheesy 90s style, softcore porn. Because it was him just walking down back alleys with a saxophone playing, and smoke would play, and he'd be like, and then she walked into the room and he was there waiting for her.
Was it just him reading it? Or
him reading? He would do the intros and the outros.
Okay.
And then in between was the movie, the
show. Okay. Kind of like a Twilight Zone type thing where they do the intro, then it's the thing happens.
Very sexy, one.
Okay.
And two, very adult themed. So,
my God, that's hilarious.
But that's exactly, so superhero sexy, adult themed is Sense8, right?
Okay, okay, sure, that works.
Okay.
I don't know, and I haven't seen the second season, so I need to watch it, man. I need to catch up on a bunch of stuff, but that's one of the things that I want to catch up on because it's super good. Anyway,
definitely went on a tear.
Done with. We weren't planning to talk about that at all.
No,
that was a huge.
That's
rabbit
why the
hole.
episodes are so freaking long, man. Where did we go?
It's like, okay, this will be the half-hour episode. This will be done. We don't have a whole lot to talk about, and then it's an hour and a half later.
Yeah. So what we wanted to talk about, Comic-Con. Here we go.
Yes.
So this past weekend, Alamo City Comic Con dropped into the little village of San Antonio, and it was pretty great.
San Antonio de Bejar.
Yes. or Bexar. Bexar County.
Sorry, it's just so funny because we had that debate. All right. Anyway, nobody knows. We're just laughing at our own jokes.
This show's just for us apparently today. So it came into town. I went on Saturday, a little bit on Sunday, but just toward the end. It was a 3-day event that gripped the downtown area, and Jonathan got to enjoy all 3 days. And I think you were there. I don't even know. Were you there this long? The last time I came to town?
Yeah.
Because it seemed like you were all 3 days from open to close. It seemed like you were there.
Yeah.
Damn it, man.
Yeah, man. I do it big. I do it right.
Yeah. You definitely did. My cousin and her husband, they for PAX, they get a hotel rooms downtown.
Yeah.
And they just stay down there, and they're like, okay, well, this is our lives for 3 days.
I would almost consider doing that next year for Comic-Con itself. Okay, so first of all, it was October last year, and then May this year. So, I don't know what or why or how or, anything about that. But the fact that it moved up so much was kind of crazy, and it almost made me consider not going just because it was so soon.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, like a month ago, I was like, okay, I gotta go. Like, I have to get tickets. Like, I can't miss it. Like, I really, really want to go. I got the tickets thinking, still even till then, I guess it didn't feel fully fledged out because it was so soon.
Yeah.
It felt like the guest list was still changing. It felt like people were still being added last minute. There was people that I started hearing about that were coming that I didn't even see on the website officially that were supposed to be there. And then they do this every year anyway, but there was no panels announced yet. Like, up until even the week before, there was no panels announced. So I was like, what the hell are they going to do? Like, why don't they just say, like, hey, this is what we're thinking? Or, it just felt super unorganized. It felt like it was not going to be good.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, I got the 3-day ticket because I wanted to go, but I don't know how much is going to be able to do or how many things are going to actually be happening. So, you know what? Screw it. Like, I'll just go each day and see how things go. But, man, like, the way it ended up turning out was really, really good. Like, really good. I don't know how you felt about it just on the Saturday. Like,
I felt like it was more organized this time. And I don't know, maybe because from what you were saying or from what, like...
Oh, Friday morning was a mess, dude.
Really?
Yes. It was, like, stupid getting into the building. Like, that was probably one of the worst things I'd experienced about, like, all of Alamo City Comic Con. And I thought, like, it made me think immediately, like, well, then my thoughts were right. Like, this is going to be unorganized. It wasn't enough time to plan it out properly. It's crap. Like, this is not going to be good. And then it almost immediately started to turn around. But yeah, getting into the building was a huge mess.
Dude, I think maybe because I came, like, last year we waited in line, I think from, like, 9 until... From 9 until 10 before it opened.
Oh, yeah.
So we waited in line for an hour.
Yeah.
And then it was just like, everybody just free for all, kind of like just getting the lines through and everything. But this year we went right at 10, right when doors open, and it seemed like it just flowed a lot smoother.
Yeah.
Dude,
back check, because they did a back check this year, and that was like, it went really fast, which is great. It could have been better organized. Like, it was just people, like, especially, man, on Sunday was probably the worst day for it. Like, the people doing the lines were just kind of sending people as they went. And like, they themselves were almost like if they were battling each other to get people in, like, from their line into the back check, like, area. So it was like 3 tables for back check, and then there's like just like 2 girls standing directing the lines and what people to go to what table for the back check. And like one girl was like constantly like, okay, boom, like that's open, boom, that's open, boom, that's open.
Right
and then
on.
like the other girl was then not able to send anybody like at all. So like that line wasn't moving like at all. And I was like,
Damn.
what the freak? And we were in that line that wasn't moving. So by the time we got to the front of the line, since we weren't moving, I just saw an open table and I was like, we can go there. And like, I just took me and Brandy over to the table because I was like, this is ridiculous, man. It was super unorganized that day, but I mean, that part of it, not that it was unorganized. It was just that they might have done a little bit better with training those people because they were just volunteers. You could tell people in the red shirts, volunteers, people in the blue shirts were, I guess, the actual people that worked for Alamo City Comic Con, but they could have just done a better job with training or sent one of the blue shirt people to maybe help them out, or I don't know. I don't know what they could have done differently, but I mean, overall, like, we still didn't wait like an hour in line. It was only like 20 minutes that we were in that line. So if that, it wasn't bad. That's not a bad line at all.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible. I mean, overall, I think, like, just as far as like organization wise, of course. I mean, with large things like that, there's always going to be issues. Even when y'all went to Celebration, I mean, how crazy! Like, that is a huge freaking event, and just the issues that y'all had with just getting swag, and then being able to view some of the conventions and the halls, like the what is it? Like the panels, was crazy. I just couldn't believe it. Like, it was really, really nuts. But I mean, I think with the one here in San Antonio, man, it felt like it could have been done a little bit better. But I mean, I honestly think like I thought it was done pretty well. Yeah,
no, it was done good, man. Like there was some, like I said, just those little things. There was little things that there is to complain about, like there is to complain about every time. But a lot of it comes to organization, and I think the organization that was bad in this one for Alamo City Comic Con was more the training of the people, like how everybody's going to do certain things. I don't know how to explain that part of it, but it just could have been better done as far as that goes. In the celebration side, it was more that they just didn't seem prepared to handle that many people, period. It didn't seem like they had enough volunteers. There was no like overflow rooms for the panels, and all the panel rooms seemed really small for the amount of people that were there. And in comparison, the biggest room in Celebration, it felt like it held like 4,000 people. But the convention itself was like, I mean, it was like 100,000 tickets sold. Yeah, so it's like, dude, what the freak, man? Like, you're going to fit like less than like, what is that? Like 5% of the people like in one room. And then you not have enough planning to do overflows or other places for people to watch these panels if they really wanted to. Like, we paid money to get into this thing and now we can't even go to certain of those things. That really sucked. In comparison, for Alamo City Comic Con, I don't know if it had that many tickets sold or how many tickets are actually there or how many people are there on any given day. But the largest panel room was like, it felt like it could fit like 2,000 people in there. Yeah. And they weren't maxing it out. Like, there wasn't even like all the way to the max. So everybody, if you wanted to go to panel, you could easily get in the room to go to the panel. And they were doing similar things to Celebration where they give you, in Celebration, they would give you a wristband, that way to guarantee you a spot in the room, and that's how much they could get to capacity, and then everything else was overflow or you'd have a chance to get in. And here, they did a very similar thing where you got a sticker on your badge, and then you could go to the panel if you had the sticker that guaranteed you a spot in the room, and then everybody else was kind of overflow, and they would fill as much as they could. And every one they would fill up, but it never was like, okay, you're rejected, you can't get into this thing anymore.
Even though you're guaranteed a spot.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So like, even in Celebration, if you were guaranteed the spot, if you got the wristband, you got in.
Oh, right on.
So that was good. But there wasn't enough for everybody that wanted, because it was only a limited number of wristbands. And then if you didn't get one, like, it was like scarce chance that you might get through.
Tough titties, says titties.
Yep. I mean, it was cool, dude. Like, it was good. And that's the benefit also of doing a smaller one like this.
Yeah.
I would love to go to SDCC someday, but just to go like to see everything that's there. I mean, the showroom floor is like 3 times larger than what this one was. The panels are crazy, but at the same time, you're gonna have to wait like 8-hour long line or sit in a line for 8 hours to get into one of these panels for the things you really, really want to see. Yeah, and I think that's cool. Like, that'd be cool to experience. But the fact that I was able to go here and then get into every panel that I wanted to, like, really see stuff. Yeah, dude, that was awesome. Like, that's really, really cool.
And I think we're in a market, like, we're not like the smallest market out there, but we're definitely nowhere near the largest. And we're just kind of like in that sweet spot where we can get great stars to come down here still, and still not have any, not have too hard of a time to get access to them. Yeah. Because I feel like in the way that San Antonians are, if it takes too much effort, a lot of people aren't going to do it. So like if it's any more difficult to get to a place, then they're just like, nah, it's cool.
Like, screw it.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude. Heck yeah. I mean, we don't get any major announcements. We don't get, people come in and, hey, like, I'm releasing this new movie and this is what's going on. Like, that just doesn't happen here. But it's cool to get into the panel and see these people talk about stuff and do things. So we saw Ian McDermott. Like, that was a cool thing too, is he went over to take a picture with the 501st.
Oh yeah.
That was awesome,
dude. And that happened like so close to us. Like, I couldn't believe like we were right there.
Yeah, like we happened to be at the right spot at the right time. Like, that was perfect. But yeah, so picture the 501st, and then he started walking back to his like autograph booth with the Imperial Guard. Yeah, that was so freaking cool, man.
Dude, it was real legit. I know we were kind of geeking out over it.
That was ridiculous.
Like, really hard, because it was like everybody was just like, "Whoa, get him!" Like, like you could just see like this ball of people just following him. It was awesome. Pretty amazing.
That was really, really cool.
But yeah, man, you talked a little bit about the panels that you got to see. What did you get to see?
So the panels that I got were they called it the Star Wars 40th Celebration panel, or 40th Anniversary panel, but it was just Ian McDermott and Peter Mayhew. But that in and of itself was pretty cool, just to kind of sit there and they got to just chat. They had a mediator there. The mediator was pretty cool, and just asked them a bunch of questions, and the audience got a bunch of questions in, and dude, Peter Mayhew's getting pretty old, man. No, he's wearing down, man. I don't know how many more of these he's got in him, because he was struggling a little bit. Yeah. But I mean, really cool to see him. I'm glad I got that chance to see him. It was funny because on Saturday, I believe it was on Saturday. I might have been Friday. I was walking like on the showroom floor, and I don't know if he'd just gone out for a smoke or something, but he came like through the panel floor, or not the panel floor, the showroom floor, and he passed like right by me, like literally like right by me, but I didn't recognize who it was until like after he had passed. So like I didn't have a chance to bring out my phone or anything. I was like, that was Peter Mayhew.
Damn it.
He was on his little
scooter.
Yes, the scooter. I was trying to think of that other hover round.
Hover round. There you go.
I don't know what kind it was, but it might have been a hover round. You never know. But Ian McDermott, man, he was funny, man. He's still super sharp, and he keeps doing things and man, constantly on it. So that's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
What about vendors? Did you check out any vendors? Did you get anything?
Yeah. There was this. There's this one vendor that came into town and talked to them, and they're just celebrating the love of Star Wars and the love of beer.
Yeah.
They're lone Star Wars, and basically anything in Texas that's related to Star Wars that they want to be a part of. And so they have like a small following that they're trying to get built up. They've been around for a few years, but they've been right now kind of doing an artist contest. I'll put some of the information in the description. So if you want to check it out, like any kind of artist rendition regarding Texas and Star Wars, they kind of want to use. So they're pretty cool peeps. They had a huge Death Star made out of like Lone Star bottle caps, and then they had like the recreation of what battle was it? I can't remember, but it had a huge Star Destroyer and a bunch of X-wings.
They have the Death Star?
Yeah.
So it might have been Battle of Yavin, like the first one, the one in the first movie?
Yeah. And they just had like a bunch of like beer cans like cut out to look like X-wings and Y-wings, and it was pretty awesome. But we'll put the link in the description for them.
Star Wars.
Yeah. But you saw a few artists too, right? Like
like as far as like for people selling artwork, dude, that was one of the things, man, that I wanted to mention real quick. A lot of the artists that showed up this year, there wasn't as many artists that showed up this year, because last year, like going through like Artist Boulevard and like the entire showroom floor, there was a bunch of artists and a bunch of people selling very themed stuff for Comic Con, and this year there was just a crap ton of fidget spinners. Like,
oh my god, yes.
But I was talking to the vendors, because that's one of the things I like to do, man. I like to sit there and then talk to the people that are doing stuff and really creating some cool stuff that is fun to buy, and it's unique and different and not something that you're just going to go in the store and get. And I was talking to a bunch of them, and a lot of them said that, they have friends that go and normally do like all the Comic Cons and try to hit up as many of those places so they can sell their art. And this year was just too soon, from October to May, that a lot of them just didn't get to show up, so they just didn't get in they didn't get the money and time together, didn't have time to put together the booth to be able to come down and get out here to sell their stuff. So that kind of sucked. There was a couple of people that I was kind of looking forward to see again, because they had said last year when I talked to them that they normally go and do this and try to get every single one. So I was like, okay, fingers crossed they're going to be there again, and I'll pick up some more of their artwork. None of them showed up. So I was like, damn it, man. But they gave me time to find a couple of new things. So I found I'm a Ninja, which has some cool stuff, man. I haven't showed you these posters intentionally, just because I wanted to show them to you here.
Right on.
So you could see what they're like. But I bought these posters.
Oh, those are awesome.
So it's like Thor, Cyclops, Wolverine, and Darth Maul.
Yeah.
All of them, it's a very similar ninja character. The ninja character is just about the same, but a different costume for each one, and the appropriate costume for each one. And I love the Cyclops in there.
Dude,
the Cyclops
that looks pretty legit, man.
It's so freaking cool, man. The Wolverine one is really cool too. I actually gave that one to my friend Cody, and then the Darth Maul I gave to my friend Drew. And I'm keeping that Thor and that Cyclops.
Dude, those are awesome, man.
They look really cool, man. And it's just like the character in like the normal ninja costume. I don't know what the heck those things are called.
Yeah. In the ninja garb. Yeah, sure.
Yes. And just as the character, man, like it's freaking cool. I really, really like them. So I'm going to put the link to all their stuff in the description here. They have a link to their store, and their store has like a crap ton of stuff, man. And they were selling all their posters. I got these posters on Sunday. I don't know if it was like any cheaper than normal, but for me at the con, they were like $5 a piece. So really, really inexpensive. And dude, they're freaking cool. I already bought frames for them, so I'm just waiting for the frames to come in so I can put them up in my house. But damn, I really, really like them. Yeah. So yeah, links in the description. I'm sure you can buy them there. Follow them. If they go out to cons and stuff like that, I would try to hit them up because really, really cool stuff. The other one that I found was a company called Paper Mutant.
Cool.
Already with a name like Paper Mutant, that says something, man.
Yeah.
we all know, like, I love all the mutant stuff a whole lot. And what they do is they make coasters and buttons and magnets of old school comics, and not just X-Men stuff, but they do like a bunch of different comics. But they take those old school comics and then just make them into like these things you can use, right?
Yeah.
And dude, as much as I like collecting some of the old ones, and I don't do it for collection's sake, I like it because I like to read them and have them, and a lot of times the covers are really cool, and that's why I get them, because I like the cover and the what that story is talking about. But then, dude, once you get them, you put them up, and then that's it. You never touch them again, right? Like, even if you're displaying them as a piece of art, like, you're usually putting it in a case. It's just going on your wall. You're not going to open it, look at it anymore. And that sucks. I want to see the stuff that's going on inside of it. And I figured, what a way to commemorate that better than putting something on a coaster.
Yeah.
I found at one of the booths they were selling, I found the wedding of Scott and Jean. And, dude, like, it's freaking cool, man. I like to think of myself and Brandy as like a pseudo, like Scott and Jean, but I mean, obviously ending in a better way, because I don't desire for Brandy to die, because that would suck.
No, not at all. I hope not.
But I wanted a way like when I talked to them, super nice people, man. And I asked them if they would do like a custom piece for me, just because I really wanted that one like commemorated. So they did it, man. Like, they were able to kind of get it together. They made a couple of coasters for me. They made a couple of buttons and a magnet out of the magazine, or the comic issue that I gave them.
Right on.
Dude, but super, super cool. Paper Mutant. That's what they made for me. Showing Eric right now. Let's see his initial reaction.
Dude, those are legit, man.
They're really cool, man. Really, really cool. And I love the way they ended up. They have some that are like semi-glossy, and those are just like a matte finish on there.
Right on. And so the images, where do they get the images from?
Those are the ones they're from the comics.
Oh, so are they like torn from the comic pages? Or,
yeah.
Cool. Very cool, man. Those are awesome.
It's freaking cool, dude. Like, yeah, man, they made them for me. They just gave them to me this week. They're based out of here in San Antonio, so luckily they were able to do the commission and get it done, and then just hand it to me like after the whole con.
Yeah, right.
But like, all the stuff they had made was pretty cool. I wanted that one just because nobody sells like a lot of Cyclops and Jean stuff. Like, it's just more old school comics. I mean, it's been a while since the stories have come out. I know people are still fans of it, but not as huge fans as they once were. So. Definitely not as popular to be out on tables anymore, but thankfully they were able to make some stuff for me. But
those
really,
look good, man.
Dude, really, really cool stuff. All the stuff they had on there was really pretty awesome, man. So I'm linking. I'll link their website, and then their shop. I'll link their shop on there, because that's on Etsy. So that way you guys can check it out and see the kind of stuff that they have. But they have really, really cool stuff, dude. They also make I'll probably end up buying some of these things, but the light switch covers.
Oh, yeah.
So like, they got a bunch of light switch covers that are all pretty cool. So, man, check them out. Really, really check them out, because they're pretty awesome.
Yeah. I met this lady, Michelle, for Stinking Patches.
Oh, yeah.
And they pretty much did kind of the same stuff that you're talking about how they just get that image and they throw it onto for the what are they called? The coasters. There you go.
Oh, okay.
Damn it, I couldn't remember the coasters for the life of me. Shit. But she does this kind of a similar thing, but she does it for patches, and makes pretty intricate patches. So I thought they were kind of cool. Yeah. Hopefully we'll get some more, and as soon as I get our patches in, we'll throw that picture on there.
Yeah. So, I mean, if anybody hasn't been to Alamo City Comic Con, I would suggest going. Vendors there are really cool. A lot of people locally from South Texas area, and a lot of fun stuff to check out. And the fact that right now it's the sweet spot, like Eric was talking about, that you can get into some of these panels with some of these larger name people. The other panels that I don't really talk a lot about right now, they had a panel for the Goonies with Sean Astin. There you go. Corey Feldman and Key, and I don't know how to say the rest of his name. The kid who played Data. Yeah. He's not a kid anymore, obviously, but those three guys, I think, never have been in a panel together before. The Ian McDermott, Peter Mayhew panel. There was a panel with Carl Urban that was just Carl Urban, like literally just Carl Urban, no mediator or anything else.
It was called just Carl Urban.
No, man, it was called I Am the Law, Carl Urban.
That's amazing.
Yes. Oh, they talked about maybe they're in talks right now about doing a Judge Dredd TV show, which I don't think was any secret. Like, I mean, I think they've been talking about that. I don't know if we've actually mentioned it.
I don't think we have.
I don't know if we have. But I mean, it's in talks, and
Yeah.
like he's being tapped for the role. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Man, that movie was amazing. I don't know if you've seen
Yeah.
it yet, but if you haven't checked it out,
newest
definitely
one.
please do so. John was saying, like, artist-wise, there was a lot of people that either penned or wrote a lot of the comics that are our like favorites from back in the day, and even TV shows also. The guy who did animation for The Simpsons was there. Frank Miller was there.
Rob Liefeld.
Yeah. Man, just a lot of these people that did iconic pieces were there. So it's still, if you get a chance to check it out, I think it's like $45 a day if you do it that way. Or
I think 45 is just Saturday, and then the other 2 days were like 30 and 35.
Oh yeah,
a piece.
Yeah.
So
it's really super. It's not that expensive to go. So if you're in the Texas area, all in around Texas, and this con comes
or
up
from
again.
anywhere, and you just want to come down. I mean,
Yeah,
shoot.
really, come check it out. Like it's not that expensive, and we're going to an even cheaper one here soon. So we'll let y'all know how that goes down in the Corpus area. So we'll see more on that news as it develops. Some of the news that we wanted to also cover as well. Did you have anything else that you wanted to?
No, man, that's cool. Like, yeah, let's move on. We talked a lot about ACCC already.
Yeah, a couple things that came out recently. Sadly, well, we are from San Antonio. That's not a secret. We definitely have talked about it a lot. But very few times we talk about sports ball, and the recent Spiderman trailers that have been dropping, the TV spots, have been all about the finals. But I just thought it was funny how
the NBA finals for those the uninitiated.
I'm sorry, the NBA finals. I just thought it was funny how, like, in the last TV spot, they talk about like Spider-Man, like Tom Holland trying to see the finals.
Yeah,
and Happy, Tony Stark's driver, tells him, like, hey, you need to get snacks for Tim Duncan. Like, please, can you go get him some snacks really quickly? Like, he just, nothing fancy. He just wants the fundamentals, So just get him something really quick, So they just talked about him in the finals, and he does Spider-Man-y stuff and try to get him snacks. I just thought it was funny, and I just wanted to throw that TV spot in there. So that little link is in the description. But the rest of them are pretty much the same, of like them talking about other sports teams and integrating them with Spider-Man coming out.
I can't believe you just called Happy Hogan
his driver.
Yeah,
he is
Tony
his driver.
Stark's driver. Jon Favreau went through all that work.
Oh yeah, John.
To bring out that character because it was such a good character to bring up from the comics. And there you go, just calling him Tony Stark's driver.
Well, that's how people are going to recognize him.
All right, fine. I'll give you
that. He's
that.
also a chef. He's also a...
Just many things.
He also swings.
Just many things.
Swingers.
Awesome. Anyway, I know typically, comic book people who are more into that world, Cody, who don't really do a whole lot of sports. But there's few of us out there. I know you and myself are both a little bit into sports, and I think I'm a lot into sports sometimes. And but it was cool, man, to see the worlds cross it, because it doesn't happen too often, because there is that split. It's like people who like metal music and people who like punk music. I'm definitely on the punk side. People on the metal side don't usually get along with people on the punk side, and vice versa. But sometimes those worlds have to meet, man.
Rolling Stones or Elvis Presley, I don't know.
That's the best comparison you can
the Beatles
come up with.
And
Beatles and the Who.
Beatles and the Monkees.
There you go. Sometimes you just gotta have a nice medium.
Yep. All right. Well, we brought it up at the beginning. I went to see Wonder Woman last night.
Yeah.
I want to talk about it. So, do you mind? Like, look, I know you're going to see it. So, do you want me to do just like a spoiler-free?
No, dude. Whatever you want. Whatever you want to talk about. If you like, I feel this is one of those movies that even if I know how exactly it's going to end, this is not going to spoil watching the movie for me.
Okay, cool.
Because it's an action movie. It's based off the comics. Like, I mean, they shouldn't stray too much from that. And even if they did, like, I don't think the whole point is being surprised, because I mean, the whole fun of it is seeing the story play out.
Oh yeah.
For this type of movie, anyway.
Okay, so I'll do spoiler free first, and if you want to go in there being totally surprised, then don't listen to it. But then I'll do spoiler.
I'll do my best to put timestamps in the description. I'm not going to make any promises. If you look down there and they're there, then I did a good job.
Good job, John. Okay, so spoiler free first. Out of the gate, it sets up the origin story of Wonder Woman. You get that all throughout the trailers. It really is shot beautifully. Like that's just cool. I think what's her name? Patricia. Let me get this information first before I start. I want to do her justice here. Patty Jenkins. I gave her official name, Patricia. So Patty Jenkins did a great job. Like, it's just really beautifully shot. It's not like the dark, brooding sense of Batman Begins, Christopher Nolan's, or Suicide Squad, or Batman v Superman, Zack Snyder's interpretation of the superhero world. It's really bright. It's vibrant.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff that I thought that was going to be kind of gimmicky, or I don't know, kind of like maybe they're just feeding too much into it. Like, everything seems like it played really well. Like, just the dialogue was super on point, and it wasn't too grandiose. Like, these are grandiose topics, and these are like, because they talk about the Amazons and the Amazonian women and their background and their backstory, and it really does give you like an honest interpretation of like what her origin story is. So it does that really well.
And it's the new origin, right? I don't know enough about Wonder Woman like from the comics, because I know there's been a couple of different iterations of it, but
there have been. And I guess without giving anything away, they touch on them. That's it. I'm going to say that. I'm not going to give anything away, but they touch on exactly that. They touch on the different stories, and they just get their mitts all over them.
Okay. So their hands all over that. All right.
Get their hands all up in there.
That's a great way to start the review. All right.
And it's funny because like my aunt texted during the time when we were watching it, because she saw that we were at the movies.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Hey, is this something I can take my daughter to?" And I was like, there's this one scene where they talk about how come there's all women and no men, like, and and they kind of say like, "Oh, well, I mean, this is exactly from the movie, so like, this doesn't spoil anything about the theme of it, but this is just one beat." And they're just like, "Oh, well, it was determined that men are just for procreation, and any satisfaction that women get out of intercourse is a man isn't necessary." And so Chris Pine's like, "Oh, okay," and she's like, "Okay, good night." That's pretty much it. So I was like, "Well, I don't know. It's action packed, but it's definitely long, and I felt like it could have been shortened just a little bit.
Yeah.
And I would have been just okay with it. And maybe some of the scenes, like maybe not the entirety of the story shortened, but just some of the scenes could have just been tightened up just a little bit because you definitely feel the length of the movie.
Yeah.
And usually that's okay if I'm really engaged in the story and what's going on. And not to say that I wasn't engaged, but it just felt just a little bit long. Yeah. And I was like, man, I feel like, okay, I understand what's happening. Let's just move on. Let's get it going. So, but I think overall, a solid performance. Yeah. I don't think you're going to be disappointed. Yeah. The only thing that you're going to be upset about, I feel, is they used the Wonder Woman theme song a couple times in this, but it's super short. Like, okay, it's just like that guitar riff,
stupid guitar riff. But that's what I don't like. That's exactly the part that I don't like.
It's just the guitar riff for like 5 seconds, and even then, and I know exactly, like, that's exactly how I felt like when it started, because I got excited and I was like, John's gonna hate this. But really, like, man, the action scenes are super on point, dude. Like, I'm really excited to see like her in the Justice League now. Like, before I was like, okay, it looks good, but like, man, like, I really felt good about this movie at the end of it. Like, it didn't feel like Suicide Squad where I was kind of like, it was a movie, but it didn't do anything for me. But really, like, Wonder Woman, like, great story, great action. Just not well paced, I think. Maybe a little bit tighter. But, I mean, other than that, I think it was a great movie. Yeah, and it really tied into the universe as a whole. So, I don't know. I'm excited to see Justice League. So, and with her in it, I guess now, like, what's going to happen? Like, are they going to do, like, Wonder Woman 2? Like, because it's, like, this, like, Variety posted, like, this opening weekend for her is already slated to make over $100 million. So
wow, yeah.
she's doing really, really well.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really cool. And I mean, that's kind of one of the things that we've been talking about, man, is I want this to be good. Like, I've wanted this to be good. So that's cool. That's exciting to hear, man. I know by the time this episode goes up, I should have been watching it or should be watching it.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see if everything works out okay. It's my wife and I's anniversary. So we're going to go check it out on Sunday. So we'll see. We'll see how it works out. But I'm hoping we can go and make it and check it out.
I'm going to do some spoilery stuff now.
Getting into
Is that
spoilers.
okay?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So if you don't want to, of course, any spoilers are happening now. You've been warned. Okay. So right out of the gate, it opens up. This is all tied in a flashback. This, like, it opens up. She's working at the Louvre in Paris.
Okay.
Studying some stuff, as she to do. And she's gets a package from Wayne Enterprises. And a big truck drives in, says Wayne on the side of it, and some guard has a package for her, drops it off, and it's the picture that he finds in Lex Luthor's disc or whatever in Batman Superman. So it's that picture, and it's just her remembering where this picture was taken and why, like the whole story behind it. And it starts off with her as a child and the story of, and I think, and this is the part that sucks, because I saw it at the drive-in, and there was 2 scenes where there's no exposition. It's just her typing something, and we were so far, like I couldn't make out what she was fucking typing, or the note that she got, and I was like, "What the hell does that say?" And I couldn't hear anybody next to me saying like, "Oh, that says here's the picture that from or her." So
this is like a mental note portion where you need to bring binoculars the next time you go to the drive-in.
I know. And even Gabby too, like, because Gabby really liked it, and she was like, "Damn it!" She's like, "We really need to watch that movie again in the theater." So
I'm going to get you a pair of like opera glasses.
Oh yeah, just the little floppy ones over. That'd be good.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, we should do that. But yeah, so she gets this note. Who the fuck knows what it says? It's lost. Nobody ever is gonna figure it out. But it kind of just, and it kind of like, like
the memory,
into a flashback of like her growing up in not Minas Tirith. I always say that. Now I can't even think of the name. Well, it's called like Paradise Island. In the comics, but I forget the actual name of it that they give it in there. But basically, it says like she's a princess, her mom's a queen, she was made out of clay and given life by Zeus. And the reason why that the women are always trained, like she wants to train, but her mom doesn't want her to, and essentially they don't feel like she needs to train because the darkness or whatever that they had faced in the past is no longer going to come back. And basically it's the gods were great and they gave life to man, but man became crazy and like war driven. And so Ares killed all the other gods to show Zeus that, this is, man has this in his heart to be evil and Zeus's creation is bad. So he's trying to show Zeus this. So with Zeus's with all of his strength, took out Ares, and with his final moments, I guess, created Paradise Island so that the Amazonian women could be there, and he left the god killer with them, so that if Ares were ever to come back, that they have something to fight against him with.
Yeah.
So she doesn't want her to train because they feel like they've gone years or decades or lifetimes with nobody interfering with them and their lifestyle, and nothing's gonna happen. But they're just like, no, she needs to train, she needs to understand how to fight. So fast forward X amount of time, she finally is kind of learning how to fight, and it's a quick transition. But basically Chris Pine's character finds the island accidentally, boom, crashes. She finds him, rescues him from the water, but then all like the German army kind of finds the island as well because they're searching for Chris Pine.
Yeah.
And they kill a bunch of the Amazonian women.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, which I didn't feel like, I thought it was crazy. Like, I didn't think that was going to happen. I thought it was like, oh, safe. Okay, show me where you've been. And like actually take out a lot of women. Like, because all they have is arrows, and it's a pretty action-packed scene, like of the women getting taken out, but the women fighting against them, and like just like like all the arrows and moves that they do, like even against all that, like yes, a lot of women get taken out, but they take out like a whole fleet of German soldiers. So it's they introduced the lasso of truth. It's I think it's called the lasso of Horatia or something.
Okay.
Or
it's a different name.
They give it a different name, but essentially, do you know where the lasso of truth came from?
Where?
So I guess the creator of Wonder Woman also was one of the people, or if not the person, who created the lie detector test.
Oh, really?
So they created the lasso of truth, kind of like in homage to that.
Yeah.
So kind of crazy, but So it basically, when they wrap people around it, when they wrap people with the lasso of truth, it gets hot, and so they're just like, oh, okay, what's the truth? Like, okay, here it is. Oh, whatever. So that part's cool. And I don't know, man. Like, I really don't want to tell you like
everything,
but it's really, really good. Like just between that, like opening sequences and those events, like probably like the first 30 minutes of the movie, it's like her getting back to the world and like getting into it. There's really not. So there's only like a handful of like really things that like kind of mention like comic book stuff or going back to the story. I mean, of course it's drawn from there, but nothing like that really stands out to me. Like that's like blatant, like this is comic booky, whatever. Yeah. Except for the villains, of course.
Yeah.
Ares is legit. I'll tell you, when you see Ares, because he's ultimately the
main
guy,
villain. Okay.
The villain, and you get that kind of from Go. Like he's the only antagonist that you hear like throughout the entire thing. But they actually show him, and he looks legit, man. Yeah. Like that's the first time I saw him, and I was like, "That's exactly what that motherfucker looks like." Like that's awesome. Like that's exactly what he should look like, and they did it, and they gave him the powers exactly like he should have them.
That's awesome.
So
that's really cool.
Like I was like, "Oh my god, yes." Yeah. And I'm not a huge DC fan. Like I'm gonna be the first to say that I'm not, but it's still like it was really like an refreshing take on like an honest looking villain. Yeah. And his and that's another thing. And I didn't mention to do the non-spoiler part, but like the antagonist motives are like legit. Like he's a legit villain. Yeah. Like compared to some of the things like the Marvel has problems with like their villains and like giving them like that kind of like drive and motives. Like he's legit, man. That's awesome. Like it's really difficult. Like I don't know. It's just really good. Yeah. So, but you had a question.
That's cool. No. I was gonna say like, so why does she leave the island? Like, is it?
Because their whole thing is war. Like they want to. They're in time of peace, and they've been training their entire lives, and the reason why they're training is because they feel like Ares is going to come back. When they find him, he tells them that there is a great war that's happening. He never says World War I or World War II or anything like that. He just says there's 27 countries, millions of people are dying, and y'all don't know about this. Like y'all are in this bubble, and y'all have no clue what's happening. Like people are dying, women and children. People are being enslaved. People are being tortured. He's like, it's like a war I've never ever seen before. He's like, and this is the war to end all wars. And so that Diana hears this, and she's like, I have to go. Like I have to go and protect them. Gotcha. Like we have to. She's like, if anything, let's send one person back with Chris Pine, and let's figure it out. Let's see what's happening, because he has something that then might end the war. Yeah. And so her mom's like, no, like men don't deserve you. Like you don't need to be their protector. Like they don't need like you to go. But she sneaks off. She does it anyway. Okay. And like before she leaves, her mom sees her, and she's like, I have to do this. Like this is something that like I can't like look away from.
Like just go. Yeah.
And so they go, and that's kind of like how the story like kind of unfolds.
Nice.
But you know, I really don't want to spoil the end for you.
Cool, yeah.
That's
fine.
It's like it really is good.
Yeah.
And I the only parts that I feel like were kind of like forced comic-y, like he finds like there's a crew of people that help them, and it's only because I heard And it's only because I heard this comparison before I saw the movie, so I'm going to give it to you.
Okay.
So you can feel this as well. The band of characters that happened in Captain America 1.
Yeah.
That's exactly how the band of characters is.
Okay.
It feels like that. Like
Yeah.
There's
The Howling Commandos?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Like there's one drunk guy. There's one guy that can act very well. There's one guy who, who really thinks like he's the shit, And but each of them have like they're all genuine.
Yeah.
But
you just really felt like the Howling Commandos.
Yeah, that's exactly how it felt.
All right.
Yeah. And I don't know which one came first, so I can't say.
I have no idea. At this point, it really doesn't matter. Like, we know that we're going to get mirrors of everybody, like on one side and the other. So
yeah, and that's what's kind of crazy is like that's what it's going to come down to.
Yeah,
like,
Yeah. So now, Captain America put it on the screen first, so now it feels like Wonder Woman's copying it because they've already done it. Like,
even though Wonder Woman may have come first.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So,
but I think overall, great movie, great action.
Yeah.
Great.
The final battle scene.
Final battles.
Good.
Pretty amazing.
Really? Okay. Awesome.
I thought it was gonna be lackluster. Like I thought because there were so many action pieces already.
Yeah.
And there's this one scene through the trenches, like it's just pretty damn amazing. Like I didn't think that they were gonna go that route, but when I first saw it, I was like, you know what? No, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So the trailers don't give away like some of the final aspects of it, which I felt like it was going down that road. Like it was just basically showing you the entire movie, but there's still some stuff that they leave out of it, which is pretty good. So I don't want to give that away.
Okay, cool. So the trailers were less spoiler than what we thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's good to know.
Yeah, because I thought the trailers were full on spoilers.
Yeah, dude, me too, man. Like, especially one of the later ones. Like, I was like, dude, it feels like it's showing me the whole movie. Like, a good chunk of fighting from every scene to the last. Yeah. Like, from the entire movie. Like, so that's cool.
You may see like some remnants, but I don't think it gives everything away.
Nice. Okay.
But it's good. It's good.
Nice.
Okay. So with that being said, I would definitely suggest seeing it if you haven't. But if you are hesitant about it, I would give it a chance. Like really, like it's I'm pretty excited about it.
Awesome. Even if you're not into the whole huge like superhero comic book stuff, like still good.
You know what? If you're not into the like superhero stuff, like I don't know why you're listening. One, but two, I really think you have to have that kind of sense of suspension of disbelief.
Okay.
Because they talk a lot about mythology. Talk about Zeus, you know, and having those gods and being, so you have to have some level of suspension of disbelief to like want to watch this. So
okay, that's cool. And I ask more than anything because like for me in my head when I make a movie, when I say certain things about movies, it's not that I'm thinking like, okay, well, like, am I going to like it? Because most of these movies I'm going to find enjoyable because I love this genre of things. But in my head, I try to think of, will my mom enjoy this?
Oh,
because my mom likes a bunch of different types of movies. Like, she's not one, I guess, who really critiques a movie and is like, no, that's bad. I don't want to watch it anymore. Like, that's terrible. Mm-hmm. Like, she watches a lot of movies and ends up liking a lot of movies, even the ones that I think, like, that was terrible. Like, what do you mean that was a good movie? No, you're wrong, Mom. Like, but there's certain movies that I just wouldn't take her to because I don't think she'd get it. I don't think she could enjoy it. So if it's one that she could enjoy, that I think she would enjoy, just because of the content of the movie, not necessarily that it's this genre, like that's how I try to grade things. And then there's other movies like that I think my dad is just like a curmudgeon a lot of times when it comes to movies. Like there's very few, he's got this very narrow scope of things. So if it's a movie that I think both of them will like, that's when I'm like, okay, like, yes, the world can see this and will enjoy it.
Right on.
Well,
it's great to have that kind of like range, I guess. That's awesome, dude.
Well, it's just where my head goes with this stuff, So like, I don't know how you do your reviews with everything, but that's why I asked the question. Like,
no, if I thought about it, like with my parents, like my mom never sits down to watch anything.
Oh, okay.
Like, she's definitely those like,
yeah.
And I feel, man, I'm not gonna say that. What I will say is that, like, I feel like if I finally am able to get my mom to sit down and watch something, it's very, very difficult. Of say like, hey, this looks really cool. Can you watch this? She's gonna be like, okay, sure. She sits down and then she'll look at her phone and then like she'll get up and like start doing the dishes.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, no.
Yeah.
Like I don't even know why I try.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Like,
well, cool, man. That's good to know.
Cool. Well, into I feel like we've already gone a while.
Dude, yeah, we've already been recording for like an hour. So.
Oh, no.
Yeah. But it's okay. We're going to do this. We're going to knock this out because we said we were going to like 3 episodes back.
We said it. We're going to do
2
it.
episodes.
We're do-sayers or say-doers or however you want to say it.
Yeah, man.
But this is kind of, and I'm glad that we put the restrictions on ourselves because now we don't have that much time.
Yes.
Of what we feel like what our dream movie would be with the restriction within the X-Men universe with the restrictions of 5 X-Men characters.
Yes.
Now they had to have been an X-Men at one point in time.
Yes.
And they don't have to be a part of like all the same team, but just X-Men at one point in time, a major villain, some of their villainy underlings, a location, and then also our dream director with this as well. So I don't know. Title in there if you want it. It doesn't have to be in there, but if you have it, great. If not, that's cool too. I'm going to let John go first.
Oh, me? Okay.
I'm going to let him go first because... No, actually, I'll go first because I feel mine. I'm going to get so much shit for it.
Yeah. Okay.
Already.
Right.
He's like, oh, no. Yes, you will. He's like, I'm looking at your list right now, and you're going to get a lot of shit for it. So...
No, I'm just interested to talk about this stuff. This
okay,
is cool.
Cool.
All right,
cool.
let's do
okay,
it.
Let's do it. Hold on, let me get some water. Okay.
All right,
so
go for it.
This was really difficult, and right out of the gate, I was excited about doing it because this is something that we really don't usually do. But just going through this little exercise, I feel like this is something that we should be doing at least quarterly, semi-quarterly, semi-annually. Let's do it on the reg, whatever time scope you want to put on this. But really, there were so many things I want to do. And you know what? I won't even tell you the other idea that I had because I think I want to save it for another time. But, okay, so this is basically the team that I want to see together. And this is in no specific time period or whatever. So this could be generic. I want to see a good Cyclops. And I know we're on the same page on that because...
Yes, we are.
Cyclops really, and I might be preaching to the choir, but as great of a leader as he is, he really hasn't got the screen time or the recognition that he should be getting on screen. Am I not right?
You are right.
Okay, good. I think we believe that. Okay. He would definitely be my team leader. And I would like a good Phoenix. And I'm saying good Phoenix, kind of like the way in the way that she's controllable in X-Men Apocalypse, but not specifically Sophie Turner.
Yes.
Okay. That's the Phoenix that I'm looking for. I'm not looking for Last Stand Phoenix.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. She's on my team. I'm also looking for Nate Gray, who's also known as X-Man.
Yeah. Okay.
So, okay.
Yeah.
I want him on my team. And I'm looking for a Cable. So now, that's... Oh, also another thing. It doesn't have to be under one specific, like Sony, Warner Brothers. Sorry,
okay.
The mic. Sony, Warner Brothers, Marvel. They can be whatever. So I got Cable in there. I think Cable's my only outlier because I feel like Nate Gray would still be underneath Fox's.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Underneath
I think
Fox's
they all
umbrella.
are. I think everyone you're mentioning is still.
Yeah. And then, of course, the last one is, and then Archangel, an honest Archangel on the X-Men team.
Yeah.
Not Angel, but of course his after reconstruction.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know why he turned into a Transformer.
Yeah, that was crazy.
But yeah,
it was just for a moment there.
Especially since I did the whole Transformer type arm
You're waving
motions.
your hands around.
Yeah.
They weren't transforming, but they were waving for sure.
Yeah. I was doing the angels in the outfield,
Oh god.
but my villain, I want to be Charles Xavier.
Okay, which version of Charles Xavier? Just Charles Xavier, or
here's the reason why.
Okay,
and here's the story that I'm going to do.
Okay,
the story that I want to see on screen is the Onslaught story.
Okay, yeah, there we go.
Oh man,
yeah,
I feel like that's a freaking great story, man.
Yeah, it is.
So Charles Xavier, in speaking with Magneto, Magneto's kind of going crazy. Charles Xavier takes Magneto's mind, or puts up blocks on Magneto's mind. But when he does that, he really doesn't do that. Actually, what he does is he absorbs Magneto's thoughts and his passions and everything that he has for what he feels like the mutant race should be. And so fueled with his, I guess, frustrations, how the humans are not acting like toward mutants the way they should be.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
With Magneto's hatred toward the humans and the feelings that the mutants should be ruling the humans, birth Onslaught.
Yes.
So Onslaught as the antagonist here, like that's going to be the unknown. What we are going to see is just pretty much just Xavier, just kind of just like maybe like sweating profusely the entire time after this moment. Just like heavy weighs the crown on Charles Xavier as he's going through and just like still trying to train and still trying to teach, but like still like just something that's like itching in his head. Things are just going awry in different places. X-Men are trying to figure it out, trying to go and like stop these things from happening. But at the end of the day, Xavier's just like, you know what? When you go out to that mission, just wipe them all out. Just kill every last one of them. And they're like, no, wait. That's not how we do things. Like, we're not killers, man. We don't take lives. And he's just like, no. Yeah, go ahead. Just take them all out. And so I guess the X-Men start talking more and start understanding, like, what's going on with Charles. Like, he's just not the same. And so when they go to confront him, that's when they realize that Onslaught has taken him over.
It's all over.
And then it's all over, and then it's, them battling, going at it. What is it like? Because I know in the comics, they're able to pull Professor X from Onslaught.
Yeah.
And that's when shit hits the fan, because they're like, no, you fools.
Like he was helping.
I was the only thing
dumbing it down.
I was the only one keeping him at bay. Now he's all powerful. So, and really it just kind of blows up from there. But I don't want this to be like I want it to be all fought within the confines of just the X-Mansion.
Okay.
Like of them, like really just because Onslaught builds like his citadel, like he builds it in Central Park or something like that in the comic. But what I think it should be in the X-Mansion, just to kind of keep it like local, keep it small. Not on the huge scale of like Earth ending. I just want this to be like an inner conflict, like X-Men taking care of family and trying to like help Professor X like get better.
Yeah. And
like this thing is like ripping them apart from the inside. So I want my director to be Edgar Wright, because I feel like his tones and his stuff aren't really grandiose. Like he does better with small casts, and like he did with like Shaun of the Dead and with he was going to do Ant-Man, but like Baby Driver is going to be coming out soon, and that looks freaking amazing.
Yeah.
But like he's done so many great things, and I really think like he would be able to kind of wrap his mind and his expertise around this team in this film.
Yeah.
To kind of like get it all on screen. I just think that there would be so many like unique elements, and to get like his weird takes on this stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
be cool.
And especially with his Scott Pilgrim background as well.
Yeah.
Like he can really, really do like some great stuff. I don't know. Those are my thoughts. What do you think?
I think it's great. I actually had Edgar Wright as part of my stuff.
Do we have a man crush on Edgar Wright?
We do, man. Dude, after the way you talked about it, though, I might change my director. Just do a last minute swap.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, dude, like I agree, man. Like I want to watch your X-Men movie, man. Like right now,
Yes.
I'm on board, Eric. Like
Right
I want
on.
to see what you'd bring to the screen.
All right.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I think that would be awesome, man. Like everything you said, I agree with, man.
Yeah,
I don't think
because,
I disagree with anything.
I think because in the comic, there's so many other characters that are like in the story. Like, I mean, there's Hulk. There's the all of like the Fantastic Four and all of the Avengers. Like all like it's really like a huge like undertaking. Like within the X-Men universe, like everybody's involved in this.
Yeah.
But I feel like if we scrap all of that and just like make it like an intimate story, like I think it might be better, because of course we're already getting all that story with Infinity War, and we're getting that story with Civil War, and we're getting that story with all these other things that are coming out. So these large ensembles, like let's make it more intimate. Let's bring it down a notch.
Yeah. No, I completely agree, man. Like, and I think that's what would be awesome about doing a like that smaller cast, doing a director like Edgar Wright, like just bringing it down, bringing it like intimate, and then I don't know, man. Like I feel that with your story, because of the characters, like would you want there to be comedy and stuff in it, or?
I feel like there should be some like lighthearted beats in there.
Yeah.
Like
yes.
it and because it is like dealing with, well, because there's going to be death aspects, there's going to be like killing, and there's going to be a lot of that, like some of that dark humor like Edgar Wright has done. And especially with like I think of Hot Fuzz.
Yes. That's where my mind was too, like those types of movies.
I think of Hot Fuzz, like when the villain of the movie, like they're running through that old town, like that mini sculpture, and like he lands on that steeple like underneath his chin and stabs him
that was
through
terrible. That was horrible. Oh my god.
He's like stuck on there, and he's like, but he's not dead. Oh man. I could definitely. I'm sticking with Edgar Wright.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, I completely agree. I think for my director choice, I was thinking about that, like, and I kind of wanted the similar tone, but then I thought, like, Edgar Wright does a lot of stuff that leans a lot heavier toward comedy, and I think with the characters that I have, like, on mine, what I'm just about to talk about, I think it'd need to be toned down a lot more on comedy.
Okay.
So I was thinking, who's Edgar Wright-esque, but less comedic, but still can work, small cast, is known for doing small, like, scale stuff, but still can do large-scale things when it comes to it, and has been known to do that stuff, because I would love for there to be a huge fight scene, and I'll go into it in a minute.
Okay, right on.
But, dude, Gareth Edwards.
Dude.
Like, I feel like he has a lot of similar things that he can do with things like Edgar Wright, but it's a little bit more stripped down on comedy. He can put a lot more serious tones and really like pull at the strings of stuff the right way, where it needs to be drama, but not just brooding stuff, which he can do, and he can do well, and he can like, I feel like that was a lot of like Cassian and in Rogue One, and like that's how I feel Cyclops should be. You know, like more like that, because he's a conflicted man. Like he's got a lot of stuff going on in his head, and I feel like all the movies that have come out so far have completely failed to like show that and show the way that he could be like actually coming to life and how he reads, to me at least, on the comic sheets. Yeah, you know, and I feel like someone like Gareth Edwards could really pull that out, you know, and really show it, but really make it someone that you can be sympathetic with, rather than like, oh, that's Professor X.
Yeah.
Because that's the way I feel that Cyclops has been written in the movie so far. It feels like he's like a pseudo Professor X, like the way Professor X reads in the comics. You know, and I always come back to this one scene that I say over and over again, and I'm sure I've mentioned it on the comics, but like literally, Professor X comes back from having been gone from the team for like months on end, which always happens because he's always faking his own death. Yeah. And there's a training sequence, and Wolverine does something that he disagrees with. So he's like, Wolverine, or he's like, Cyclops walks into the room and tell Wolverine he's got 10 demerits. And it's like, dude, what the freak? And Cyclops is like, it doesn't say these exact words on the comics, but Cyclops is like, actually, just chill a bit. You know? Yeah. Like, and the whole reason Cyclops is going in there is to tell him, like, hey, man, you can't just like think you can come back and like, you know, get on this team. Like, you don't know how we operate. You don't know what kind of things we do. Like, demerits aren't going to work for somebody like Wolverine. Like, that's stupid. But that's the kind of stuff that it just seems it's completely the opposite in the movies, man. Like, they just have not captured that at all. So I would really hope that they would do something like that, and that's why I'd kind of want to see on my team, like you said, Cyclops, a good Cyclops. Like, let's bring it back. Let's get him like a good position in it. I'd love to see Phoenix. You know, so Jean Grey as the Phoenix persona, like, or with the Phoenix like powers already. Not necessarily Dark Phoenix, not going all the way dark with it yet, but really seeing her at the peak of her powers. And as the Phoenix, like as a legit Phoenix, not just a strong telepath and a strong or strong with telekinesis, but like full on. Like, let's bring her powers up to the top before it went dark. I'd love to see Magik. Like, and that one would have to, and this is where I kind of get into kind of crazy stuff, because some of these things you couldn't do exactly, but it'd have to be more of like a time displaced Magik to be with the kind of characters that I think Scott and Jean could fit in pretty well. But since you are talking about time displacement, I think we'd also have to have, I'd also love to see a Colossus, like an older Colossus, brought onto the team. And then leading them all, the one time displacing people, because this is just what he does, Cable.
Nice.
You know? So like, you know, it would have to be a story that's not in the comics yet, something that is completely broken out of that and completely taken out of context. So I would love to see like Cable come back in time, bring in Colossus and Magik to team up with Scott and Jean to fight an evil that Scott and Jean don't really know about yet, but it involves them because they are heavily involved with this character all the time. Oh, really? And that would be Mr. Sinister.
Nice.
Dude, and I would love to see a great... I'm so scared of them doing Mr. Sinister in the movies because they haven't done him yet. Yeah. And I'm scared. I'm just scared that they're going to do it wrong. What I would love is to see somebody like Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Ooh,
like,
yeah.
You know how he plays Negan? Like, that's a bad dude. Yeah. Negan is a terrible man, but he's got so much charisma. Yeah. And he's so, like... It would be just a step up to get into something like Mr. Sinister. Because Mr. Sinister can a lot of times be flamboyant. He reminds me of, like, an 80s rock star. Like, he reminds me of oh my God, bass player for Kiss.
Gene Simmons.
Yes, because they know how Gene Simmons is like. I mean, he's got a huge personality. Yeah. He's kind of like, he thinks all about himself, it seems like a lot of times. And he's kind of got this arrogance about him, like it seems like. But then he's also, and it might just be from the rock star thing, but he's got a little bit of flamboyance going on. And I think you need to crank that up just a little bit more with somebody like Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I don't know if he'd be the exact actor that would be able to do this, but you know, getting into that level of it and that being Mr. Sinister. Yeah. Because, dude, that guy is kind of crazy. But, dude, that would be such a fun movie to me. I'd love to do it with the Marauders. I don't know how much you know about the Marauders.
Not much.
I can't remember all of them by name, but it's just a team of like bad mutants, but they're all clones. So they're all clones of a bunch of different people. So it would be kind of crazy to see that, man. Like, you know, it would be fun for me to explore that space to make it kind of like a dark one. And that's why I think Gareth Edwards is a little bit better for me than Edgar Wright. Now that I've thought about it a little bit more, but just to kind of get a dark tone, get like a serious thing kind of going on. And yeah, there can be comic type moments inserted here and there, and you know, a little bit of like just relief points more than anything else than really being meant to be funny. Yeah. But have like a very serious tone to it where there's like actual consequences of things going on. Yeah. But one of the things you can do with Marauders is you can just kill them off all you want because there's always a backup ready to come back. Yeah. You know, so it'd be kind of crazy to see something like really, really bloody, really struggling with consequences of like killing somebody, even though they are a clone, but they were still like a live being. Like really make it something that they'd have to struggle with.
And that's what I didn't mention in mine either. So like, but I was like Magneto kinda, but Sentinels, man, like that was an Onslaught story. So So at least they have some fodder, like to kind of burn through, you know.
Yeah. So this wouldn't be fodder because each one of these are going to be major characters, but these major characters can die every once in a while. You know, like not major characters, but definitely the secondary cast. Yeah. But still have the same people come across over and over again, but they can still end up with the same consequence of death. It'd be interesting. I don't know exactly where that story would go or how it would play out because it isn't something that's based on a current comic. Yeah. But I would love to see it, man. Like that'd be freaking cool. Like I think I would really, really enjoy that if it actually happened. Set in the setting of like the New York Underground. Yeah. So kind of yeah,
that'd be cool.
Yeah. I mean, do you know about the Mutant Massacre?
Yeah.
So, like that, I have images of that, like, kind of going on because it did involve the Marauders and it involved the Morlocks. Yeah. So, I mean, I wouldn't want to touch on that story exactly, but you know, maybe a little bit of a play off of that, like where maybe they even have that history and can kind of like tap on that. But yeah, something definitely out of continuity because I'm sick and tired of people messing with the actual comic books and doing it wrong.
Yeah, you know, they really that'd be really awesome if they came up with. Well, they kind of do that now, but no, they do that now.
They do that now. Yeah, they do that now, but they do it on such a grand scope that they take every single major character and like completely mess up like everything that's going on. Yeah. And now I'm going to tell you to mute your phone.
Sorry.
Put that thing on silent.
I thought it was. My bad.
That's all good.
That was all me.
But yeah, anyway, man, like, yeah, dude, I'd rather see something just slightly different just because of the things that they've messed up already. Yeah. And since we limited ourselves to doing like smaller cast of X-Men, like that's why I kind of want to do it in a little smaller scale and a little bit out of continuity. Yeah. If we're talking about all out crazy budget and doing something like, let's see something come back from the comics, like straight up right into modern times. But I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
I don't know. So I'd rather see something like this.
Yeah. Yeah, no, dude. That's exciting. Like, I'd want to see that too, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We both win today.
Yeah, we're both winners. Everybody's a winner. High fives all around. I like this, man. I like going through some of the old stories that I like to see and some of the things I really enjoy, but also like just trying to like tear it down a little bit to kind of make it a little bit more realistic as well.
Yeah, man.
Things that I was thinking about, like, of us doing is also where maybe alternate timeline stuff for the DC.
Yeah.
Like,
okay, yeah.
What are they called in the DC? They're called, oh man, I can't remember what they're called. They're like alter stories or something, or like they're like alternative universe stories.
Okay,
but in Marvel they're called what ifs.
Yeah,
and so I think if we can come up, like, if further on down the line, let's do like a what if story. Like, what would be an awesome like what if movie? Like, just a one shot what if.
Well, this
movie.
is, I think, what would be my what if movie.
Yeah, I think so too.
Like, this is exactly where I kind of had my head. It's probably because I've been thinking a lot about the what if stories. We don't talk a whole lot about tabletop gaming on the podcast, but one of my favorite tabletop games to play is HeroClix. Yeah. HeroClix this year is having their 15th anniversary. 15th. They've been around for a long time, man.
Like around the time of Pogs?
Yes. It's been around forever, man.
They survived.
They survived. Well, Pogs went the way of the buffalo, and
like there's only a few left.
There's only a few left out there, and they probably are like 50 cents for like a pack of 100 on eBay or something. But
oh my god, even more, probably 1,000.
You can get a ton of Pogs for almost no money. But dude, like, HeroClix's been around for a while, and this year, since it's the 15th anniversary, they're doing like a huge set for HeroClix that's coming out. That's going to be Marvel What If.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, so I'm like super excited about that one coming out. It doesn't come out till August, and they're already doing like pre-release like reviews and sending them out to people, and people are doing unboxings of them already. I was like, damn it, man, I want that set in my hands right now. But dude, the what if lines, like, it's all what if, and so my mind has been there for the past like 2 weeks because I've been watching a bunch of the unboxing stuff. So it's definitely like that's where my head was at when I was thinking about this stuff.
Well, sweet,
but I like your idea.
Well, cool. Well, if y'all think of any stories that you would like to see, or if you liked our stories, please let us know. Hit us up on Twitter, Facebook, our YouTube channel, anywhere.
At Kenobi's Corner.
At Kenobi's Corner. That's right, John. I know I started us off on that, so that took us in a weird direction.
Yes, it did.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely let us know what you think, and drop us comments, and we'll talk about whatever stories that you find interesting.
Yeah, we never get sick and tired of talking about this stuff.
Yeah,
so please hit us up, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, anywhere that you can leave a comment, and we would love to have that conversation with you. Even if you just think we're wrong and want to tell us so. Like, yeah. I don't mind that. Like, I love having those debates. Yeah. Other than that, another good place to drop comments is SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/Kenobi's-corner, or you can just go to kenobiscorner.rocks and it should link you over or get you over to the SoundCloud page. Drop us a comment on any one of the episodes, and we'd love to have a conversation with you. You can also find us on iTunes and Google Play. Just look for the podcast sections in either one of those. Search Kenobi's Corner, and we should be one of the first things that comes up, if not the first thing that comes up. And lastly, if you listen to podcasts on a particular platform and we're not in that section, let us know, and we'll do our best to get on that platform as well, so you guys can listen to us there.
Well, right on. Well, until the next time, guys, thanks for hanging out. Enjoy yourselves and each other.